After a decade of success, the Phillies are in rebuild mode. But the Fightin' Phils never give up, and proof of that is their 5 walk-off wins this season, and that's tied for the most in all of baseball. Giants come to town trying to get their season back on track, and these two teams meet in Game 1 of the series. Giants, Phillies coming up next. Giants road trip begins tonight. We're in Philadelphia as we get ready for Giants baseball. Game 1 of this 3-game series. Giants Phillies, welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Javi Lopez. Well, a lot of things going on. Giants did not play very well in the month of May, and now as we head into June, the Giants have made some roster moves. Starting tonight in right field is Austin Slater. This is it. This is his debut, and I'm wondering, Javi, what's going through his mind right now.
Well, I saw him right before this batting practice session today, and he looks happy. He looks excited, as you should be. You're a young kid. You finally get to do this. You know, he's a local boy going down to Stanford, coming out of there, and I know he's nervous. One of the great things about this is I was told when I was making my debut, take a deep breath. Look at the extra deck that you get to play in front of, and just realize that you finally made it to the show. And this is the right guy to be facing. Eichhoff likes to throw lots of fastballs. Every hitter will tell you that's their favorite pitch. So I expect him to be aggressive and have some fun out there and make some memories.
And for Javi, you get to broadcast from that second deck, which is good. I'll tell you the same thing. All right, it should be fun here in Philadelphia as we get ready for Giants baseball. Coming up next, lineups in the first pitch of this game, right after this.
Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By State Farm. Combine auto and renters and see how much you can save. Talk to an agent today. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
All right, back here at Citizens Bank Park as we wait for the Phillies to take the field. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Great time to get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 78 degrees here in Philadelphia. You see the winds 13 miles per hour. Humidity is low and it is clear. And that's always great when you're here in Philadelphia. Clear. All right, let's take a look at the Giants lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Span Nunez and then Brandon Belt. Hitting cleanup will be Buster Posey, followed by Crawford Panic, and then it'll be Kalik State, followed by the Rook, Austin Slater, making his major league debut. You see his numbers in Sacramento. And on the mound for the Giants is Ty Block, who comes in with a record of 3-2. For the Phillies, on the mound is Jared Eichhoff. And you see his numbers, he's 0-5. His ERA, you know, it's a bit high. And in this ballpark, you'd like to be able to throw ground balls. I just talked to Larry Anderson, one of the radio voices of the Phillies, and I said, give me Eichhoff's best pitch. He said, well, it would be his curveball. So we're going to look for that curveball from Jared Eichhoff here tonight. Defensively, behind Jared Eichhoff, it'll be Kendrick, Altair, and then Saunders from left to right. Franco, Galvis, Hernandez, Tommy Joseph third to first, and Rupp will catch Eichhoff. Well, Javi, he's got to have butterflies. It would only be normal if he did.
There's no doubt about it. He's going to take in this moment, and nobody to lead him through it better than Kelby Tomlinson right next to him.
The very talkative Kelby Tomlinson.
No doubt about it. If there's a guy you want to settle your nerves, it's Kelby.
Oh. Yeah, I think we talked to my brother Jeff, who's our producer, who said that we do believe that his parents are in town, and at least that would be great if they were. And hey, he's in a spot in the lineup. He's hitting 8th, and you know, hopefully he's going to get 4 at bats. Time for our Nissan keys to the game. Solid defense in order for the Giants to win behind Ty Block. As Javi Lopez said, he throws a lot of ground balls. You need solid defense. And set the table. Set the table for Belt, Posey, and Crawford. Buster Posey does not want to go into the All-Star game as a starting catcher with 13 RBIs. So set the table for the guy. So here's Denard Span as we get ready for the first pitch of this ball game. And here it is, and it's a call strike. So we get started 3 minutes late. As Span steps in, hitting .231 with 3 home runs, 10 driven in. And he fouls this one at the plate, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Giants are coming off a 2-4 homestand. And it's disappointing because they took 2 out of 3 from the Braves. You win 1 more, and then you've got yourself a 500 homestand, which is at least moderately acceptable. Foul back. Was that the curveball?
That was it right there. He's going to throw a lot of fastballs. He throws league average fastball, 90-91, nothing too special. It's the 12-6 that he tries to set up, and he just tried to do it right there.
So Span stays alive with Nunez and then Belt. And the 0-2. And this is wrapped on the ground into right field, a base hit. And that's how this game gets started. So just like that, the Giants are going to get Eichhoff in the stretch. And maybe that's a good sign on this trip for Denard Span. So here's Nunez. Nunez hitting .280 with a couple of home runs, 17 driven in. The only Giants player that has had an at-bat against Eichhoff is Aaron Hill. So anybody that steps in there other than Aaron Hill is seeing Eichhoff for the first time. And a shot down the third base line. It'll be Kendrick trying to dig it out, and he will dig it out. And stopping at third is Span. So just like that, second and third with nobody out. And I do hear a few Giants fans here tonight. And if they were ever going to be heard, it would be tonight. Belt high, a little bit above the belt.
Yep. Well, when you're that tall, it's tough to get the ball down, especially when you're getting into the stretch. And you saw it there. He rips that ball right down the line, and now you got the little traffic going here for Brandon Belt and Buster Posey on deck.
So what did we say? Set the table?
That's exactly what you said.
So here's Belt hitting .237, 10 home runs, 22 driven in. Overshift is on for Belt, leaving Franco the lone defender on the left side. And Belt takes low. So right off the bat, he sees the curveball. Buster Posey on deck. A single and a double. And the Giants trying to put up a crooked number here in the first. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's definitely having trouble finding that release point from the stretch. Now he's really trying to get the ball down. I think that's why he went first pitch curveball there to try to get on top of the pitch. And you saw the fastball down finally, but just not in the right location.
You see Rupp going through a set of signs. You don't see many guys in this era that even with runners at second and third that now would go back to the windup.
You know, you're right, and I think it's trending that way, and it's rightly so. You make 75% of your pitches that are most important in the stretch, and might as well stay there as long as you can.
3-0 to Belt. Belt on the ground. It's got into the glove of Hernandez, and one run is going to score, and it's 1-0 Giants.
Aggressive play. You got to like it right there.
So Cesar Hernandez could not come up with it. It's a tough error, but they're going to give an error to Hernandez. Belt's going to get an RBI.
There was the Orioles hacking right there. Ground ball. He didn't stay down on it. That's unheard of, really, for Cesar Hernandez. He's really an underrated second baseman in the league, and actually one of the best defensive. I think he ranks the highest right now of any infielder in the National League.
Yeah, he's got great hands. And here's Buster Posey with runners at the corners. So an RBI for Belt is 23rd. And Buster takes a strike at the knees. Calling balls and strikes tonight is Phil Cuzzy. Then it's Nick Lentz at first. Mark Rippiger is at second. And the crew chief, Tom Hallion, is at third. It seems like we just saw Tom Hallion. Here's the pitch. Posey, it's a little pop-up foul down the right field line and out of play. That's not a bad. I didn't mean that to sound like a bad thing. I like Tom Hallion. He's a good umpire.
You see him everywhere, in commercials and everywhere.
That's right. Yeah, there aren't many where you see an umpire chatting it up in a commercial. 0-2 to Posey. Nunez at third, Belt at first. Buster fouls it back. He got a fastball in. And it may be that Buster's taking a walk thinking, I just might like to have that one again.
He's definitely trying to speed him up. I mean, he's set up the curveball now. This is the count you want to take a chance. 0-2. Let's see what happens here.
Breaking ball got him. Good call. So that's the best one he's thrown in this inning. And here's Crawford.
He had thrown 3 straight heaters, fouled them back, set up that 12-6. That's a tough pitch, especially when it's coming from a guy that's 6'4", 245 pounds out there. That release point, it's tough to pick up at first. And like Kuipert said earlier, all these guys are seeing him for the first time. So Buster will put that in his back of his head.
Here's Crawford hitting at .260. 3 home runs, 17 driven in. So The first pitch is a breaking ball, and it misses to Crawford. 1 ball and no strikes. On deck is Joe Panik. So the Giants have indeed set the table, and they've picked up 1 run. Crawford drives it into left center field. Is anybody there? It'll be Kendrick who makes the catch. Nunez is going to tag, and it's 2-0. Nice at bat from Brandon Crawford.
Definitely knew he wanted to get a ball in the air. Wanted to keep the double play out of play, and he went ahead and got the fastball and did what he had to do.
Yep. Got it up. In this ballpark, it's going to carry pretty well. And here's Joe Panik. See the numbers down for Joe Panik, 242. With Orlando Calixte on deck. His belt gets checked on by Eichhoff. Span and Nunez open up the inning with base hits. Timeout is called. Beautiful night. I mean, the whole day today in Philadelphia was absolutely gorgeous. The pitch. Outside to Joe Panik. 1 ball and no strikes.
Phil Cuzzy will get you a little bit of a bigger zone. You got to establish that you're going to throw strikes. I mean, he's been calling a lot of balls off the plate with left-handers up, so we'll see what happens as the game progresses. He does have a little bit bigger zone than most umpires.
Into the gap. Yes! Belt is on the move. And Saunders really made a nice play as he got it on the carom, and it's a double for Panik.
Well, Joe's looking for a pitch to drive right here, setting up Eichhoff. Eichhoff comes in with the heater again. Joe just doesn't try to do too much, finds a gap, stays loaded on that backside, keeps that back elbow down through the ball, and he's spinning on that back leg and touching second base.
Well, I thought for sure that this was going to knock in Belt, but as I said, Saunders made a nice play to keep Belt from scoring.
He sure did. He got a nice kick off that wall, made the play, and you know, you got a little traffic now for Calixte,
who is 2 for 8 since his call up from Sacramento, and those are the first 2 hits in his major league career. He only had a couple at bats in Kansas City. And the one thing about him, as we found out, is he'll swing the bat. He's not afraid to let it go.
And I think that's what Bob McClure was telling him right there. Guys running in scoring position, throw breaking balls.
Down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Belt is at third, Panik is at second. Giants with 3 hits in the inning, and they've taken advantage of the error by Hernandez. And that pitch is high. 2 balls and no strikes.
I think that was one of those rare sliders that he throws. You're only going to get a handful of those a game from him.
And judging by that one, he may not throw it for a while. So 2-0. On deck is Austin Slater. Eichhoff gets the sign.
He's definitely nibbling. There's no doubt about it.
I'd like to see Slater hit with the bases loaded.
No doubt about it. That would be fun.
See the open stance by Calixte. And the walk, and we're going to get what we wish for. It could very well could have been that. So Father Thomas is on the left, Amy is mom to the right,
Austin Slater,
and Sarah, Austin's sister.
What a special moment. That's awesome when you can do that.
I'm trying to figure out how you're not in the big leagues one day and you get those seats.
Plenty of good seats still available. That's why.
There you go. As The bases are loaded for Slater. And a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And he gets to wear the number 53. Who's more nervous? Son or mom and dad?
I'm voting on the parents on this one.
I'm voting on mom. And the 1-0. Swing. I'm going to miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And he got away with one there. It was a changeup again. He threw it. Again, you're only going to see a handful of these a game from him. And thankfully that was riding hard in on the hands to Slater, because that was going to be up and do some damage with it.
It's Belt, Panic, and Calixte with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike to Austin Slater, his first major league at bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Rupp was going to have a word.
Again, there's no place to put him. Obviously, you would want to pitch around and get the tie block on deck, although Kershaw would tell you that he doesn't want, you wouldn't want that situation. But, you know, bases are loaded, no place to put the guy. Slater's in a hitter's count, got him in a cripple count. Let's see what he can do here.
Giants with 2 on the board. Slater waiting. The pitch. Wow.
Ooh, because he flinched.
Wow.
He flinched. He wanted to do it.
And he did. It's 3-1.
Again, he's got a bigger zone than most umpires, but he hasn't established. There's his fastball right here set up. Rupp doesn't move the glove that much. It's just that he's been around the zone the whole game. He hasn't established that he's not going to get that call, especially bases loaded.
So now Slater in the driver's seat. Full count. Well, hey, Eichhoff did what he had to do, and now he's got to do it again.
That's right. Pitcher's pitch. Fastball down and away. If you're going to do something, beat me to the opposite field. Great wrist strength right there by the Rupp to catch that ball, and you're looking at full count.
And now you can't take anything close. 3-2. Foul down the right field line and out of play.
Heads up.
Pretty good pitch by Eichhoff. I don't know. Dad's trying to handle it well.
Dad's trying to be cool, calm, and collected.
Working. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I think the old man would take a walk here. I think he'd be happy with that. Here's the payoff. Chop to short. Galvis has it. His throw in time, and that's going to end the inning. Giants on the board. Phillies are coming up. It's 2-0. The Phillies, and here's their lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Hernandez, Altair, and then you remember Howie Kendrick, the former Dodger, then Tommy Joseph, the former Giant. Maikel Franco is going to hit in the 5th slot, and he's had some good games against the Giants. Saunders, Rupp, and Galvis, and Eichhoff is going to be in the 9th spot, as you would expect. Here's Ty Blach. Blach comes in with a record of 3-2 with a 3.83 ERA. You take the one start he had at Cincinnati off the books, and his ERA is in the low 2s. He has been absolutely fabulous facing the Phillies for the first time and playing behind Ty Blach. It'll be Calixte, Span, and Slater in the outfield from left to right. Then Nunez, Crawford, Panik, and Belt. And Buster Posey will do the catching. And leading it off will be Cesar Hernandez. With the Giants on top, 2-0. Hernandez, a right-handed hitter, hitting .282. He bluffs a bunt and blocked right at the knees for a strike. Good player. He's got some speed. He's got some pop. Block throws inside to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
He really is. He's been doing a lot of work with Larry Boa. Larry Boa obviously knows what he's doing.
Popped up. And this is going to be over the Phillies dugout. About 10 rows. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's what you're going to see from Blach all night. You want to see him get ahead with the fastball to set up that changeup, protect it. Those are his 2 main pitches. He's going to flip in that curveball every once in a while, the 12-6er, but he really wants the contact on the fastballs away.
You saw Larry Boa in the dirt, 2-2. Oh, he's quite a player. Switch hitter. Played on all those great Philly teams. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Threw that ball right under his hands.
Great pitch. Great pitch right there. He had slowed him down with 2 off-speed pitches, sets up the fastball, glove side. Hernandez couldn't do anything with it. Great pitch right there. Great call by Buster and great execution by Blach.
Altair hitting .299. He's got power. He's got 8 home runs, 28 driven in. I mean, this has to be a guy that you would like, primarily because you figure, I mean, he's not a guy that throws 95, 96. I mean, he had to earn it to get here. In a lot of ways that you did, because you were not known for a blazing fastball.
No, you're right, and that's the thing. I mean, this guy ate up 600 innings in the minor leagues. He's not coming up here right out of college. He definitely put in some time.
On the ground to Crawford, who's going to brace himself for the 3rd hop. 2 outs. And here's Howie Kendrick.
Again, you see it right there. He's got that fastball command going right now, and that's what you want to see. Lots of strikes both in and out. He's going to face a lot of right-handers. Right-handers are hitting over 250 off him, and that's the reason that he needs to establish that fastball in to just protect that changeup away that he's going to use later on in the game to get some outs.
Here's Kendrick. Kendrick takes a call strike. Right abdominal strain, and Kendrick just coming off the disabled list, and he takes the pitch high. All the years, and he didn't have a lot of years with the Dodgers, but it seemed like those years he was with the Dodgers, he always did something to hurt the Giants, whether it was defensively or offensively. As the next pitch is down low, 2 balls and a strike.
He's always been able to hit. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He's got that that ability to use the opposite field that you don't see a lot of nowadays.
Get on the ground to 3rd for Nunez, and that'll end the inning. So a strikeout and 2 ground balls, and we'll head to the 2nd.
is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Here at Citizens Bank Park, it's 2-0 Giants, and Ty Blach is going to lead things off, facing Jared Eichhoff. And the pitch to Blach is low. Blach can hit a little bit. As Javi mentioned earlier, he's got ownage on Clayton Kershaw. There's a pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
Not many people can say that.
They cannot.
Especially pitchers. Maybe Bum.
But Ty Blach and Joaquin Arias. And that pitch is high, so it's 3-0. Ty Blach 3 for 14. Now that's not going to put him into the best hitters for pitchers Hall of Fame, but he does give you good at bats. So much so that Eichhoff did not want to throw him a strike. Here's our Jeep drive of the game. It happened on August 4th last year in this ballpark. Top of the 10th off of Gonzalez, and gone. Giants won 3-2. It was Span's first career home run in extra innings. I remember liking that one very much. I think that was getaway.
That was a getaway day. That's exactly right.
Always big fans of late home runs on getaway day and no rain. Span opened up the game with a base hit. Here he takes high, and Rupp is going to make his 3rd trip to the mound.
Yeah, Eichhoff's having some serious trouble, and that is his pitch, his 4-seamer. I mean, he's only had 1 quality start. He started off the season with 3 straight of them, and now he's had 1 since. He's coming off an outing where he went 5 innings, 5 1/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, and he gave up a homer. I mean, this guy, if he starts falling behind, he gave up 30 home runs last year, so it's something that can happen here for us tonight.
So now Span back in the box, 1 ball and no strikes. Outside 2-0, and now you can see the frustration by Eichhoff.
Got his pitch count up. He's at 34 right now. He hasn't found the zone. You got to imagine Span's just in take mode.
And a called strike to make it 2-1, and a mock cheer from this sold-out crowd.
And there was a slider again, the pitch that he's only thrown a handful of. He gets it there, 2-0.
Blach with his lead. In at 3rd is Franco, and it's high, 3-1. In just having fun with this ballpark not being filled. There was a time when you came here and it was filled for years and years.
Oh, it was incredible. The lineups they're running out here, and all the banners that they're hanging up there. They're doing a nice job here.
Here's the 3-1 to Span. 3-2.
Normally you would send him. What do you do here? You got Blach up there. Do you want to get him going a little bit?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I think so.
But we'll see. Span with a bullet down the right field line. And Ty Blach is going to head to 3rd. And it's 1st and 3rd with nobody out.
That's a great job of base running by Blach. It was a 3-1 heater. He's sitting on it, waiting, or 3-2. He gets it right there. Sweet spot of the bat. Gets the foot down early. Turns and burns. When you sit 1 pitch, you can do that all day. And when you're getting in those hitter counts, that's what happens. And great job of base running by Ty Blach. 1st and 3rds are what you always want to see on a base hit to right field, but especially when it comes from your pitcher. He's trying to help himself out. He knows he wants that W as much as anybody.
Here's Nunez, who doubled in the 1st inning. This would be a tough guy for Nunez because he likes to swing. Nunez is not a guy that tries to work a count to get into a hitter's count. He just likes to swing.
He does, and that's what makes him a threat. He's almost like Vladimir. Just go ahead, hits the ball in the dirt over his head. It doesn't matter. A swinging bat's a dangerous bat.
And he's ahead in the count, 1-0. And a base hit to left field.
And there you have it.
So Span and Nunez are 4 for 4. Coming in to score is Block, and it's 3-0 with the beef coming up.
Or you're looking at the pitch again. He's just trying to find the zone. Something down and away, slips back in over the center of the plate. Nunez, like you were saying, likes to swing it, and there you go, base hit and an RBI.
All right, so here's where if you're a pitching coach, you have to be a psychiatrist.
Yeah, you know, they're letting them know what's going on. The bullpen's just now getting loosened up. You got the guy reaching into the rosin bag. It's awful early.
Well, interleague play is going to start on the next homestand, and it'll be the Twins in town. Friday, June 9th through Sunday the 11th. On Saturday, the first 20,000 fans are going to receive a Will Clark jersey cap, and it's presented by AAA. Tickets are available at sfgiants.com. Who in the world wouldn't want one of those? Here's Belt. Belt reached on an error, picked up an RBI.
Let's see if we see one of those changeups.
Instead, the hook.
The hook.
1 ball and no strikes. I don't ever hear it called that much anymore, a hook.
There's a guy getting warmed up right there.
And that's
Leiter Jr.
Leiter Jr. Mark Leiter Jr. Another breaking ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mark's dad had a couple years with the Giants. Of course, his uncle we see on TV all the time on the MLB network.
You never like to be throwing the ball in the bullpen in the bottom of the second. That's never a good sign.
No. Belt sees another curveball, and it's 1-2. It's almost as if Eichhoff is saying, if I'm going to stay in the game, and if the only way I can do it is by just throwing lots and lots of curveballs, and I'm going to do it.
You're right, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to slow him down. He's going to slow him down and try to set up the fastball again. When you start throwing the ball 75, the 90-91 looks like 98.
On the ground, that's a fair ball, and the throw to second, and somebody went. Nunez, I don't know if he slipped or if he thought he was going to get hit in the back, but they get the force play at second, and that'll put runners at first and third. For second, I didn't know if this was going to be a good play or not.
Yeah, he turns, he sets his feet, he throws, and I'm not sure what happened there. I think Nooney, hey, he just came off a little bit of a concussion. I don't blame him. Hit the deck.
Hit the deck.
Stay in the game.
So Span now at third. So Buster's going to hit with runners at the corners. He's got a better idea now of Eichhoff. And he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Buster's looking to do damage right here, and that's what you want to see out of the Giants. You want to just see him in these opportunities and not just try to score the run, try to find a gap somewhere. And they're giving him right center right now, too.
Well, he got Buster Posey on a curveball. And so far he's thrown a couple of fastballs that really haven't been close. So we'll see if he's going to pitch him backwards here. Low, 3-0.
Not going to get that call. And now Buster again. What do you do here? If you're the Giants, you let it fly 3-0.
Absolutely.
I'm with you. Right center still wide open. You know he's going to try to throw something away. If he can just ride that back leg, he can do some damage at right center.
And he'll never get a chance. And the bases are loaded for Crawford.
And we just got the wave from the bullpen saying he's ready. Let's see what happens here. Making the last phone call. This might be his last hitter. We'll see how it goes here.
That's Pete McCannon. Crawford a sacrifice fly in the first inning. This will be pitch number 49 for Eichhoff.
Crawford's not afraid of a grand slam. I've seen it before.
And he is not afraid to lean on that first pitch.
Oh, Phil.
Inside. Making the kid work.
That's a pump fake. I thought he was going to call the strike. Hey, good for Craw.
Panic on deck. Span, Belt, and Posey. And the pitch. Swinging a fly ball center field. It's in the park with Altair. He'll make the catch. Belt is going to move to third as Span comes in to score. And Crawford, his first two at bats are sacrifice flies.
Great job by Crawford right there. Again, trying to drive the ball, do some damage. Just missed the curveball a little bit, but still was able to score a run. And you still bring up another guy with another guy in scoring position. Building for another big inning.
Panic doubled in the first.
It's one thing to score one. It's another thing when you start adding on and getting those crooked numbers that Bochy's been looking for.
Yeah, you have to add on. You just don't know what's going to happen with the opposition's offenses. This is the final out to end the inning as the Giants score two more times. 4-0 Giants. Stories on this date, 2011 in St. Louis. Aubrey Huff, that's right. He hit not one, not two, but 3 home runs off of Lance Lynn, Michael Cleto, and Brian Talbot. Giants won that game 12-7. His home runs came in the 4th, the 7th, and the 9th. The Huff man. Here's Tommy Joseph. Right below us, there's a woman that has a Pat Burrell t-shirt on. He's still big in this town.
You said it.
Pitch is down low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. At the bat.
Hall of Famer, right?
Fame in this town. He is, absolutely.
Yeah.
The former Giant, at least in their minor league system, Tommy Joseph hitting cleanup. He's got 8 home runs and he's got 24 driven in. And there's a strike at the knees, 2-2.
And you're seeing Block do exactly what he needs to do, protect the outside corner. He keeps working these guys in on these righties so he can protect that changeup away. Let's see if he gets it here.
Must have wanted to come back in. It's 3-2. The Hunter Pence trade is what brought Tommy Joseph to Philadelphia.
The concussions got him out from behind the plate.
Yeah. He can hit. Tapped off his foot foul, and he's got power. Bruce Bochy said he really liked him. He was in spring training, I think a couple of years probably with you. And he said he was a good kid. He liked his power. And another payoff pitch is tapped to third. Nunez.
Great pitch.
Hop. What was the great pitch? Was it the changeup?
No, it was again. He went to the sinker away. Finally, here made him so conscious, as you would know as a hitter. You get in. You think in. Now you get something away, and your hips aren't into it. It becomes a very handsy swing. And you just get the top half of the ball. Next thing you know, you're getting yet another ground ball in a hitter's park, which is what we were looking for today.
Here's Mike Alfranco hitting .216, 6 home runs, 28 driven in. And he takes high, 1 ball and no strikes. And Saunders to follow. That foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Think about all the little things you can do as a starter. Field your position. Ty Block does that very well. Throw strikes so your defense stays on its toes. He does that very well. Swings the bat, holds runners on.
He plays the game. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's got the ability to pitch deep into a ball game.
In, out, and it's 2-2.
There was a changeup right there. Franco is a heck of a player. He's a free swinger. He's got a lot of power, and he likes to swing the bat, and Block's taking advantage of it.
Outside. I have to tell you something. Someone told me it is like the National Donut Day. Is that true? Well, they just brought us some donuts, and they're warm, and it's hard to do a game when there's a base hit up the middle. And these things are right in front of you, and they smell so very good. So here's Saunders. First hit for the Phillies, and it comes with 1 out here in the second.
Goes right there. You know, you get into a full count. Fastball down. Franco did a good job staying up the middle with it. But again, it was on the ground. It wasn't driven, and you still got the double play in order. So that's a positive that you go look at and Block.
So Saunders, a left-handed hitter.
And a little bit of a shift with Nooney being way off the bag at third base.
Crawford not an overshift, but definitely playing to pull. And there's a called strike, and it's 0-1. And it would really mean that if a ball that was hit hard to Nunez, it may be Crawford that would have to cover second.
Which they've done a few times this year, I think.
Yes, they have. On the ground to Panic. Panic to Crawford. Crawford not in time. And in that particular case, Joe Panic, by design, was playing a little bit deeper, and that's how Saunders beat it out.
Great pitch execution right there. Block going inside, gets a 3-hopper to Panic, but Panic, like you mentioned, had to get back on that ball, played on his heels a little bit, and he's upset. He's slapping his glove right now. He knows he had a chance to get out of the inning, but again, if you're looking at Block, you got yet another ground ball, and that's what you want to see all night.
Here's Rupp hitting .217. 4 home runs, 13 driven in. And with Rupp, I mean, look, here's a guy that you just don't want to make it a 4-2 game. Just keep him in the park and then go from there.
You're right. And you look at that pitch right there that Cuzzy just called. That ball was down a little bit, but since Block's been filling up the strike zone, he gets that right there.
And that's going to be up the middle for a base hit. So a couple of hits, And Freddie Galvis is going to hit. Well, he did what we said, keep him in the park.
Same thing right there. It's down in the zone. That's a no damage area. It's fine. Base hits up the middle. You're working to the bottom part of the order. You know, if he doesn't get Galvis here, you got the pitcher / probably pinch hitter. Who knows what might be happening on deck. So good job by Block to continue to work ahead in the count.
Galvis with 4 home runs. He's got 24 RBIs. And he takes a strike.
Fill it up right there. He's doing it.
I thought maybe, as you mentioned it, that the Phillies would use a pinch hitter if Galvis reaches. That's going to be foul. But they're not. Unless whoever they had up in the bullpen is ready to go at any time.
Yeah, you're right. Leiter Jr. sitting down. That was a changeup right there. He left it up. He was trying to bury it. Just missed.
And that's what he wanted to throw. He did not want to throw that for a strike.
Nope. Throw it in on the hands. Keep him conscious of something in. That was probably his hardest fastball of the night. And now you can go anywhere with him. You can go soft down and away or go hard back in. Let's see what he does. Hard
on
back
the ground.
in.
Nunez. Side retired. Nice job by Block. The Phillies are going to strand a pair. It's donut time for us. It's 4-0 Giants.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Caltrans Stormwater. Keep our highways clean. Protect our water. ProtectEveryDrop.com.
Well, you're looking at parts of Philadelphia. It's 4-0 Giants. Great town. I was just telling somebody the other day, it's now in my top 5 in all of baseball. Affel doesn't like it.
Yeah,
I do, but maybe for different reasons why he's probably got some strong reasons why he doesn't.
I think he does. As for me, I have to like this town. I have a lot of college friends that live in and around this area. So if I say I don't like Philly, I'm really in trouble.
Be careful. Here's Calixte. And with Affel, did it have stuff to do with the bullpen?
It definitely did. They have nice, beautiful flowers over the bullpen now, but before then they didn't have any of that, and the fans would just be yelling at you like you're talking about in the packed houses. It got pretty bad.
But there's a show of a bunt, but I've never known Jeremy Affel to be that sensitive. They must have hurt him pretty good out there.
Well, I mean, he tries to be the big tough guy act. It's all an act.
Yeah.
It's all an act.
A little softy.
Yeah.
Jeremy Softy Effa. Bleakstay drew a walk in the first. And a good breaking ball makes it 1-2.
He's starting to throw more of them. You know, he's starting to pitch backwards. Let's see if the Giants make an adjustment now.
And they're going to say he went around. And I'm not sure about that one, but that's out number 1. I've seen guys do this their whole careers and they never called it.
I mean, he takes the full hack. He's getting that leverage. Yeah. It can go either way, but
I get it.
I just don't know if I want the home plate umpire making that call.
I agree. Here's Slater, his second at bat in the big leagues. He rolled out with the bases loaded in the first. Giants have a way of calling up these guys that really look like they don't shave.
They're definitely saving money on razors.
There's mom and dad and sister Sarah. Chop to second, where it'll be Hernandez, and Hernandez will throw him out. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Ty Blach.
That was a good bat toss. It made it all the way down to the play ball. Bat boy stretching his legs right there.
Here's the bat toss. This is second at bat in the big leagues.
Yeah, it's a little.
Let it go.
That's a good jam shot right there. And look where this bat ends up. Right. Yeah. Over halfway down the line. Nicely done.
Here's Blach. It takes some guys years before they do that. Span is on deck. 2 outs. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Blach walked to lead off the second and scored. A little bit of a flinch on that breaking ball. It's now 1-2.
Eichhoff looks like he's starting to find his way here in the top of the third. You don't want him to get in too much of a rhythm, but we'll see.
It's precisely why you have to add on, because a guy all of a sudden does find it. You know, they can shut you down the rest of the way.
You're right. And in a ballpark like this, it's a hitter's park. We've seen it. We've been here many a times that you can see a game just get a little squirrely towards the end of the ball game.
Three and 2.
He's treating him like Babe Ruth up there.
He is.
Hook after hook, but hey, good for Blach. Working the count. See how he does here.
Well, if he gets a hook here, we got a scoop off of Rupp, who is thinking, oh, anybody but the pitcher knocking me in the mask.
Yeah, that one stung a little bit.
And home plate umpire,
because he's giving him a minute.
He is. He's giving him a break.
Blach is apologizing because he's really nice. There it is. Steps in the bucket. Fires the hands. Ding dong. Right off the top of the forehead. Ouch. And he walked him.
It's in a curveball. A 3-2 curveball.
Huh.
So when you said Ty Blach apologized, and I don't know if he did or not, but it's very capable that he would do that.
There's no doubt.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
There's genuinely not a bad bone in that guy's body, and maybe Rupp was like, all right, just for that, I'm going to call a breaking ball.
Here's Span, who's 2 for 2. Span on the ground, and he's got another hit. And this is going to get into the corner. And let's see what Ty Blach is going to do. And he's going to drop anchor at third. His Span's 3 for 3. I wanted to have him send him. Kind of.
Oh, man. Blach came around hot around those bases. He put his head down. It was great. Look, Span just turns and burns again. Drops the bat right on that. That's his sweet spot. Down and in. Rips it down the line. Joseph had no chance, and it was just Saunders. And look at Blach right off. Just going. Head down. If you ever watch this kid in spring training, he runs more and harder than any other pitcher or position player, I think, in the organization. The guy tries to stay in shape. I think he could have gone, but it's a good hold by Phil Nevin, actually.
Oh, my goodness.
You don't need to jam in your starter at any point in time.
So here's Nunez. Nunez is doubled and single. And he swings at a pitch that was up. That was a curveball.
That was a curveball that was up again. And again, it's I mentioned it in the first inning. When you're this tall, when you're 6'4", 250 pounds, when you start getting into the stretch, and Philly's known for a little bit flatter mound, the ball just has a tendency to get up in the zone. And any hitter will tell you that's where they want it.
Locke is at third. Span at second. Up and in, another breaking ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So the next pitch will be number 68.
He was working on an 8-pitch inning, I believe, when Locke was hitting, and he ended up walking him, and 2-out walks. They like to score, so we'll see what happens here.
Two balls and 1 strike.
Eichhoff's taking his time now. Took his hat off, trying to take a deep breath, trying to find some rhythm out there. And the Giants are doing their best to keep him working. And see what Nooney likes to be aggressive. He got himself in a cripple count here. Eichhoff's got to throw a strike.
Well, he's a pitch from loading the bases for Belt. He's retired Belt twice. Belt did reach on an error.
And we got action again in the pen. So again, he was about to get out of this game, and now, or out of this inning, and now he's back into some trouble.
Threw a 3-2 curveball to tie block and walked him. And he's going to get out of the inning, I believe, if this stays in play, and the wind is going to blow it out of play. So Nunez catches a break. It's now 3-2. Leiter getting up.
Got Nishak in the background checking out the iPad, seeing some of the Giant hitters. These guys have been working a lot early and often. This bullpen has, the Phillies bullpen, and you're seeing the reason why. Some of these starters that had such great years last year are just having a little bit downturn this year, and they all seem to be doing it at the same time.
So this may be the last hitter for Eichhoff. It's 3-2 to Nunez. Now timeout is called.
I think it's a good one there by Nooney. I know as a pitcher, if I'm struggling and I'm having a hard time, the hitter steps out on me after I just threw a strike, it gets into my mind a little bit. So let's see if it's a ball 4 or a nice fastball down the middle for Nooney to do some damage.
First base is open. Curveball down the left field line, and that's going to hook foul.
Wow.
Through a 3-2 hanger.
Wow. I've also done that. So you're very thankful to when you get this curveball hanging like this and you throw it belt high, actually chest high, and the guy does that and hooks it foul, you are thankful you were getting the ball back. Nooney taking his time now, which I like it. He's playing some mind games with this guy.
Eichhoff needs to throw a strike. He may be out of the game if he doesn't. And another 3-2 pitch. Break. No. Backup curveball or slider or whatever.
I think that's probably going to do it.
And with Belt coming up, we're going to see Pete Mackanin coming out. So one of those nights for Eichhoff, who is going to walk off the mound allowing 4 runs. It could be more. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and brake experts. Leiter coming in. We'll be back. Ticket is going to include a ticket to see the Giants take on the Twins, and then a co-branded Portuguese Giants scarf. Remember, to get the scarf, you need the special event ticket. Visit sfgiants.com/special event. So it's Mark Leiter Jr. with a score 4-0. Bases are loaded. What's this guy got?
Well, normally what you're going to see from him when he's feeling pretty good, it's a four-seam fastball. You look at the numbers there. He's thrown 16 innings. He's got a 5. Not much as far as hitters doing the work. It's him putting himself in those spots. 11 walks to 11 strikeouts. But you're going to see fastballs and splitters. He does have a little bit of a slider, but those are primarily the 2 pitches that you're going to see from him.
And he'll be facing Belt. Belt reached on an error as he rolled the ball under the glove of Hernandez at second, and then he reached on a fielder's choice on a ground ball to Tommy Joseph at first. Belt takes a strike on the inside corner.
Again, average fastball velocity out of him, you're going to see 91, 92, 93. It's the splitter that he's going to try to protect. That's about 84. And when it's going good, it drops straight down.
His dad played for the Giants. Here's the pitch to Belt, and it's inside. 1995 and 1996.
Baseball blood.
The 1-1 to Belt. 2 balls and 1 strike. What you said about Leiter, having trouble usually putting himself in bad spots, is exactly what happened to Eichhoff.
You're exactly right. And, again, this bullpen's been working a lot, and even the starters. Eichhoff had such a great year last year, but he's just trouble finding his way right now in 2017.
3-1.
There's the splitter right there, not doing anything. And once again, a giant hitter and a crippled count. Let's see if Belt's ready to let her fly, let out some shaft.
And this is where you want to do it, with the bases loaded. Block, Span, Nunez. And the walk. And the Giants lead 5-0.
As a hitter, is there a greater RBI than that?
That's,
as far as effort,
the best. So coming in to score is Block.
And we were talking about earlier right there. It's self-inflicted. That's his 12th walk now.
Buster Posey takes a strike. Mark Leiter's dad was a Willie Mack Award winner, a co-winner with Mark Carrion back in those days, and that was 1995.
That was a good year.
What, graduating from middle school?
Oh no, I was graduating high school right there. Good year.
Yeah, I forgot. You're close to 40.
Yep, 1 more month. Once again, they're giving Buster right center.
Yeah, it's not how you would set it up, is it?
No, it's not how I would do it.
1 ball and 1 strike. Buster Posey struck out and he's walked. And a curveball to make it 1-2.
That's a good pitch right there. Again, a lot of these relievers and pitchers on this Phillies staff the Giants haven't seen. So you got to hurry up, be quick studies. And I think Buster just wasn't looking for that curveball there. He's looking heater away.
Well, he's got an idea now. It's 1-2. Got him. And that'll end the inning. Giants pick up a run. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. It's 5-0.
on NBCSportsBayArea.com, brought to you by Max Muscle. Log on each week as insider Alex Pavlovich talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more. The Giants Insider Podcast with Alex Pavlovich on NBCSportsBayArea.com. Also available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify.
Here's Leiter. I'm not sure Mark Leiter thought that he was going to get an at-bat in this game, and he rolls this one to Crawford. And Crawford's going to make the play. Hey, Warriors playoff coverage starts on NBC Sports Bay Area with Warriors Playoff Central, and that's going to happen before and after Game 2 on Sunday at 3:30 here on NBC Sports Bay Area. And you can check out the team that you've watched all season long. Congratulations to the Warriors as they picked up that win last night, which we all watched once we got to Philadelphia. Here's Hernandez as he takes down low.
They looked great last night. Unbelievable.
They really did. On the ground foul. And it's great seeing, Oracle Arena with everybody jacked up. And all in all, it was just a fun night. Block struck out Hernandez. Here he takes a strike. It's 1-2. I think you can see a good example tonight of how Block has gotten Phil Cuzzy into a rhythm of calling strikes, while Eichhoff got him into a rhythm of calling balls.
You're right. And again, you're also throwing to a Gold Glover back there. The guy can frame it, but he works fast, like you were alluding to earlier. Love the infielders. They're ready to go. A lot of energy out there tonight.
Ooh.
Wow.
Everybody was ready to throw that ball around the infield. It's a full count.
I think you got Phil Cuzzy caught in the rocking chair on that one.
I think that was a broadcaster's jinx. Hit on the ground. Nunez is going to have this one ricochet off his body, and that'll be a base hit. If you ever want to know what a top spin ground ball looks like, that was it right there.
Wow. He's thankful to have his head right there. That's a nice hard two-hopper. That second bounce got up on him real quick. I mean, this is a fast infield, but you never want to be on your heels, especially at third base. That's never a good sign. So thankfully it hits off the glove and not off anything else. But again, although a hard ground ball, it's still a ground ball, and double plays in order.
On the ground, Crawford to Panic to Belt, and on cue, double play, and that'll end the inning. Fourth inning coming up. It's 5-0 Giants.
First 5,000 fans 14 and under will receive a Joe Panic bat and ball set on Sunday, June 11th. Tickets always available at sfgiants.com. Talk about a gift that keeps on giving right there. Who wouldn't want that?
Oh, come on. And if you can do this, you get 2 of them. What do you think's in there? It's got to be popcorn, right?
It better be popcorn.
You know what? Hey, anything to get somebody's attention. Is Crawford takes a call strike. Crawford has 2 sacrifice flies. Facing Leiter now for the first time. On deck is Panic.
I think the Phillies are looking for a Leiter to kind of hold the fort for a little bit till his spot in the order comes up.
Yep. Tapped out in front of home plate. It's going to have to be a clean play by Rupp, and it is a clean play, and Crawford is thrown out. Any kind of a bobble whatsoever, Crawford was going to be safe, and here's Panic.
Yeah, that's a tough play. A lot of English coming off that ball when you hit that right there. And you look at Craw, chops it right off the plate. You never know what it's going to do on that first hop. Great play. Kept the ball inside, an easy catch for Joseph, and 1 away.
Panic is doubled, and he's lined out to center field. He's had a couple of good at-bats. And here he looks at a strike. We are in the Giants half of the 4th inning. 5-0. So Leiter now back-to-back strikes, and now Joe Panic has to protect. And it's low and away. Cubs won a game today. I say that only because they did not win a game on their past road trip. They went 0-6 as Panic rolls this one to first. Joseph has it. 2 outs. Wasn't easy. See, what was that final? As I just had it. Oh, it was 3-2 Chicago.
A lot of talk about the World Series hangover and if they're going to right the ship. I think the schedule actually plays in their favor coming up. You know, and it comes down to pitching there too. You know, Lackey hasn't been throwing the ball the way he was throwing last year. Hendricks has kind of regressed a little bit.
I think they'll win the division by 10 games.
Well, the Brew Crew is they're hanging around.
They are. Absolutely.
They got to start playing better at home, hopefully after we leave.
It's true. Here's Calixte. He's 0 for 1. And right now, all Leiter's doing is throwing strikes.
That's right. He's filling it up. He's doing exactly what the Phillies need right now.
And he lets go of a high fastball. 1-2.
Changing eye level. Always a great setup pitch. Speaking
of Milwaukee, they are hosting the Dodgers, and that game is just underway. Kershaw's pitching in that.
Yeah, Kershaw had a rough outing last time out against the Cubs.
And a base hit for Calixte.
That base hit brought to you by Louisville Slugger, I think, or whatever ended up snapping there. I can't see the label.
That's going to give.
They make a good piece of wood there.
Slater a shot to hit. Hitters will always sacrifice a base hit or sacrifice a bat for a base hit. Slater is 0 for 2. He's bounced out to short. He's bounced out to second. Would like to get that first one out of the way. If you don't get it right away, then it starts to wear on you. There's mom and dad and sister Sarah. He's going to get one, okay? Played with a guy in Cleveland, Larry Littleton. 0 for 17. Never got one.
Oof. Slater, I don't know how this guy sits in Giants lore, but he kind of reminds me of Shea Hillenbrand.
The way he stands.
The way he stands,
the way
his
he
face,
holds the bat.
the way he holds the bat, the whole skit.
You're right. That's a good call. Hillenbrand was with the Giants, I think, for 3 months.
Exactly. That's why I don't know. I didn't want to say too much about him there. I didn't know if people liked him or didn't.
It's 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
Phil's not helping him out.
Hey, look, if I'm Bruce Bochy and this kid's looking for his first major league at bat, I know you're a rook, but let him go for it.
I mean, the defense is playing him straight away. You got Altera just out there with his arms crossed in center. These guys just want ball.
Slater's going, if there's any time I want an umpire to call a pitch a strike.
And he's got an on-base percentage.
Yes, he does. Yep. That says all you need to know about Philly fans. That guy right there. The bag over your head always seems to work for a little while. But you can't be the only guy doing it. You have to have like a whole section as that next pitch is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Block has walked twice, and both times he scored.
He's passed the eye test tonight. No doubt about it.
He's had to run the bases hard.
Rupp's doing his best right there to try to get that call.
This is Galvis coming in, and he's saying, look, Mark, you're killing the defense. Let's go.
Oh, and here comes Bob McClure coming out. A little chit chat.
Yeah, this might be the pitching coach doing most of the talking.
I think they only get 26 seconds or whatever. He's sauntering on out there, though.
Played against Bob McClure.
He was my pitching coach.
Was he?
Yeah, he had 19 years in the big leagues, I think.
I know one thing he could do is he could pick you off.
Oh, yeah.
He had a great move.
Yes, he did. He loves to fish, too. Big time fisherman down there in Florida.
And I don't ever remember it being a very comfortable at bat. So it's 2-0 to tie Block.
Oh.
3-0 to tie Block.
Give him the green light, Phil. Give him the green light. I mean, if you're a Giant fan, you want him to turn the lineup over. So,
absolutely.
And he did. Ooh.
Or, as I would have called it, inside strike.
3-0 count. It does hit the box. I mean, it's got to give it to Root.
Out of play, 3-2.
Once again, a Philly pitcher almost out of an inning and single-digit pitches is now working that pitch count up. Still no stirring in the bullpen, though. He's out there.
Runners go, and he walked it. I wonder what the record is for the starting pitcher walking in a game. That's his 3rd.
In 3 consecutive innings at that.
And Bob McClure watching.
And knowing Mac the way I know him, he probably told him, hey man, take a deep breath. We ain't getting anybody up right now. This is all you.
Span, 2 singles and a double. Down low, 1-0.
And this is exactly what we were talking about with the scouting report with Leiter. It was the fact that he pitches himself into some trouble. When he makes the hitters hit, they're not hitting very well. They're hitting 160, I think, off him. But when he puts the traffic out there, that's the problem.
Calixte, Slater, Block, and the 1-0 to Span, who's red hot in this game. And it's low, 2-0.
You've even seen the adjustment that the Phillies have made now. Now they're starting to, they're not shifting, but they're pinching over. Joseph is playing a little bit closer to the line. You got Hernandez sliding over a little bit into that 4-hole. You got Altair sliding over in center field. So if Denard can just put one into left center or even left field, we can get definitely the Giants can score 2 if not 3 here.
And Altair fairly shallow in center. Center field. And Altair is going to get underneath this one. So no damage done. The Giants will leave him loaded. It remains 5-0. In 2010 of the NLCS. Giants bullpen. Bumgarner, he went, well, Affel went 2, Bumgarner went 1, Javi Lopez went 1, Lincecum went 1 1/3. I mean, every out was a big out, and then it was Brian Wilson who went an inning and 2/3 to get the save. Who got the win in that one? Javi Lopez. Was that like just being at the right place at the right time, maybe?
Absolutely. I'd like to say that I battled through a lot of action there.
Let me guess, you probably had to face Howard that inning.
Face Howard, Polanco, Utley, and Howard. Got out of the inning, and then Juan Uribe hit a ball just right down the right field line against Ryan Madsen, and everybody who's seen Uribe never goes opposite field.
No. We were talking about that. That's the one thing I remember about Worth being a Philly, is he was in right field, and you saw the back of his uniform, and we were just shocked. Line drive, base hit for Howie Kendrick. So we were talking about that particular inning that you pitched.
Great facial hair, super submariner. Yeah, right there. Look at Utley though, hustles the entire way down the line. That's what I always loved about that guy.
And then Howard to end the inning, and that was it.
And they were going to let me hit, actually. I was throwing a helmet on. And then obviously they decided to go with Timmy out of the pen.
So here's Tommy Joseph. And was that a curveball?
I think it was a pulled changeup.
And it's in for a strike.
Could have been a curveball, though.
I mean, I don't really want to invent pitches for Ty Block.
All I know is that he's filling it up, and that's what you want to see as a Giants fan.
Tap foul, and it's now 0-2.
Tow truck right there. That's got to hurt a little bit.
How about Bum coming in? Those shots of Madison Bumgarner look like maybe his little brother.
It's hard to believe he's been around so long, and he's like 19 years old right now.
Look at him. I mean, he might have been a nice guy back then.
He definitely didn't talk, that's for sure.
Just inside and low, 1-2.
Great.
But there isn't any doubt that he listened.
Now he's got beautiful, long, flowing hair. He used to be clean cut, clean shaven, the whole deal. Now he's got a little personality.
He's the best. Got him.
Great pitch, great sequence there. Just constantly pounding him in there. Joseph is probably looking for something away, something slow, and never got it. Great job.
You know, I was looking at Bumgarner. Really unfortunate what happened with the accident at the beginning of the year, but I do think that all the clubhouse people and all the training staff, if there's anything that good came out of it, he's no longer going to be throwing these people on the ground and pinning them to the floor.
No, they're definitely taking their chances, taking their shots when they could, while he's all bandaged up.
Here's Franco, who takes a strike at the knees.
He's working the changeup early and often this inning. Franco didn't like the call, but when you're filling up the strike zone, you're going to get those.
On deck is Saunders. And this is playable out in front of home plate, and it's going to be Belt, and Belt will make the catch. 2 outs.
Nice job by Sparky calling off block. Blocks like a lot of contact kind of pitchers that don't want to make the outs on their own. Calling him off, calls Buster off. Great job there.
Well, maybe some people don't know who Sparky is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Brandon Belt, I'd like to call Sparky. I gave him that one pretty much early in his rookie year because he could hit a homer and he would just be the same as he is every other time, just standing there.
Here's Saunders. Tapped to Panic to Sparky, and that'll end the inning. God, it just rolls right off the tongue. We'll head to the 5th. Giants are leading 5-0.
The authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Back here in Philadelphia, the Giants are leading 5-0. And here in the 5th inning, Nunez is going to hit for the 4th time. And he takes a strike. And a line drive to left, and it's going to carry out to Kendrick.
It's a real good swing right there. He was right on time. Just unfortunate, the Adam ball.
Here's Belt. Over the weekend, send out a birthday wish to Mike Sadek. And I think the Sheik turned 70. I know that sounds impossible, but indeed he did. So, Sheik, happy birthday. One of our favorites. Plus, you got 3 beautiful grandsons. Belt takes another strike. It's 0-2 with Buster Posey on deck.
Looks like the zone's starting to open up a little bit.
Yeah.
They got the shift, the typical shift on for old Sparky.
Right into the shift. And that's Franco who makes the play.
Equally nice play by Tommy Joseph right there, picking that one out.
Actually, I think that was Galvis. So Franco stayed at third.
Hot shot, backhand play. Great play by Tommy Joseph too, because he's playing Belt back on the infield, not quite to the grass, but getting close. So he had to hustle back to the bag, turn around, and make a nice play.
So here's Buster Posey. Two strikeouts and a walk, and Buster takes a call strike. Up the middle, and it's right at Leiter. So this is going to be the first quick inning for the Phillies of the game. Bottom of the fifth coming up. Rupp will lead things off. The first 20,000 fans are going to receive a Buster Hugs blanket, and it's presented by Toyota. It'll be the Giants and the Twins in a 3-game series. Tickets are available at sfgiants.com. Who in the world would not want a Buster Hugs blanket? Here's Rupp. Of course, if you're actually lucky enough to get a hug from Buster, then you probably wouldn't want the blanket. I mean, you've got many.
Yeah,
maybe.
But a blanket's forever.
Yeah. In tight to Rupp. Rupp hit a sharp single up the middle for a base hit in the second. And he lines it into center field, and he's 2 for 2. Bringing Freddie Galvis to the plate. So that is the second inning in a row where the leadoff hitter's reached. Galvis rolled out the third, and he did that in the second inning. Here he shows bunt, and he takes a strike. Leiter is on deck. The Phillies do have somebody warming up. On the ground foul, it's 0-2.
Block once again filling up the strike zone. Working in these pitcher counts. See Rodriguez warming up out there in the pen.
And that's popped just to our left. And it's 0-2. Got him on a pitch in the dirt.
Great pitch. He's been going fastball changeup a lot tonight. Kind of keeping the curveball in his back pocket, and got a big swing and miss right there. Curveball, Buster's ready to block it, does exactly what you want to do, bounce it on the plate, starts a strike, ends a ball. Great job by Buster. And once again, we got a pinch hitter coming in, but
so
got the double play in order.
Daniel Nava is going to be the pinch hitter.
He's a Mountain View guy.
Yes, he is.
I think he went to school out west too. Got me on the school.
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara. There you have it.
Currently lives in Phoenix, like a lot of major leaguers do, but played a lot of games in a Red Sox uniform. And he takes a pitch wide. He went to St. Francis High School and attended the College of San Mateo and Santa Clara University. He's one of these guys that didn't get a chance to sign, so he went and played in the Golden Baseball League. Played for the Chico Outlaws. He's had a really nice big league career.
Exactly right. And that's just goes to show yet again, you don't have to be from big cities. People are going to find you if you got some talent. Doesn't matter where you are.
1 ball and 1 strike. Hits it on the ground to third. Nunez has it to Panic. Panic to Belt, and a double play. 6th inning coming up. 5-0 Giants. T-Mobile, the pitching matchups tomorrow. Johnny Cueto against the guy that I had a hard time hitting against, and that was Joey Undecided. And then on Sunday it'll be Matt Moore against Jeremy Hellickson, and both games are on NBC Sports Bay Area. So join us as the Giants and the Phillies play 2 more times here in the city of brotherly love, which Affeldt disputes. 5-0 Giants. And Joely Rodriguez is the new pitcher.
Joely's a big power lefty. He throws a 2-seamer about 93, 94 miles an hour. Likes to really just throw that and a lot of breaking stuff. League's hitting pretty well off him, 314. And he's thrown a lot of innings, 25 so far, and once again the walks seem to kind of catch up to him a little bit. So with that little low 3/4 arm angle, it seems like the ball's up a lot, and that's when the damage is done.
When it's time for a change, things speedy. Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up in brake experts, is Brandon Crawford stands in. He's 0 for 1 with 2 sacrifice flies. And the first pitch is down low. Young throws hard, and the inability to throw strikes, and all that seems to go hand in hand sometimes if you don't have a lot of years in the minor leagues. Crawford rolls it foul.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's probably, of course I can't speak for the GM here, but you got to imagine that's why they have a veteran coaching staff with a lot of guys that have been through a lot of scenarios, and Bob McClure and Larry Boa and all these guys that are just able to tell these guys to slow it down the best they can. I mean, you're running out here 22 to 26-year-olds a lot of time.
Crawford takes inside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Panic. And then Calixte, who's 1 for 2 with a walk. But first, Crawford. 3 balls and 1 strike.
And you could see it there. The ball's just got arm side run, and it's just he's pitching up in the zone, and I think that might have a little bit to do with his mechanics. But he's just, when he's not able to finish the pitch, the ball ends up arm side, and that's what he's getting you into trouble here.
And the walk to Crawford. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walks issued to Giants hitters. Ty Block is walked 3 times. So here's Panic, who's 1 for 3. And a strike.
Doesn't look like Joe really loved that one. Well,
no, that's one where if you can't hit it, don't swing at it. Down low.
and you can see why this guy can be a little funky for lefties, but the numbers aren't bearing out that way right now. And I think I would just have to, not seeing him throw too much, I think I'm just got to put that on the fact that he's not working in any pitcher's counts right now, so he can zero in on his own in a speed.
Chopped. Joseph looks to second, and everybody's safe.
No catch.
So I'm wondering, when we look at this, if this was just a hard play for Rodriguez, because it looked like base, ball, almost at the same time
he's
near the bag.
over. That's exactly what's happening right there. He's trying to find the base, and the throw's coming from behind him. It's not an easy play. Definitely not an easy play.
It's really kind of a weird angle too.
Yeah, and I think if you look at Tommy Joseph right there, I think if he could have done it again, he would have just went ahead and made the play to first, not looked to throw to second base.
Right. Exactly. So here's Calixte. Singled in the fourth. So once again, the Giants with lots of traffic. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Crawford walked. Panic reaches on the air. Calixte, and then Austin Slater, who's on deck. One ball and one strike.
And you're seeing it there. He's just reaching back. He's throwing two-seamers. He's going forward. It's a pitch that can get you a lot of ground balls. There's no doubt about that. But the fact is, you got to work ahead in the counts to get these guys to just swing at those pitches.
Outside, it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
And you can see it with Rupp too. He's not moving a whole lot behind the plate. He's not working a corner. He's just kind of calling the pitch and just maybe sliding over just a little bit.
Stay pretty far off the plate as he chops this one foul, but in order to cover the outside part of the plate, Calixte is going to have to dive a little bit. But the one thing that he likes to do is he likes to swing. He's not a guy that's going to, he's a lot like Nunez in that way, where he's going to get his at bats by swinging it. And this time he's going to head back to the dugout. That 96-mile-an-hour fastball is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
That was a reach back, letter eat fastball right there. That was with movement too.
Yeah, that was 3 miles per hour faster than any of the pitches he's thrown, or the 3 miles per hour faster than any of the pitches he's thrown before that. So here's Slater, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. So be his 4th major league at bat. And he takes low.
One thing you got to be excited about right here, if you're Austin Slater, is that you've seen this guy face 3 dudes now, and he's throwing nothing but heaters. He can kind of gear up for one pitch.
Yep. Crawford at second. Panic at first. Outside. 2-0. Mom and dad and sister watching, and many folks probably back home. Some folks at Stanford, I'm sure, watching. And it's a 2-0 pitch coming up right here. Foul back. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That was a good hack right there. He liked it. He's a little disappointed in himself that he missed it. You can see he take a little long pause. He was sitting on that 1-1 or 2, the fastball. He's looking for it middle away. It trickles in just enough that he misses it. He knows it too.
Two and two.
Seems like Rodriguez is finally starting to loosen up a little bit out there. That was 95.
Yeah, he came into the game 91, 92. Runners go. Swinging a bouncing ball and a base hit. And here comes Crawford. And the Slater family elated.
Look at Thomas, Amy, and Sarah. They're going nuts, as they should. As they should. That's a special moment. I don't care who you are. I don't care what level. I don't care anything. That's an amazing experience, and one they'll never forget, and hopefully one of many for him.
There's the baseball. Bam Bam Mullins will put it in his pocket.
One thing to get a hit, but another one to get a little piece of steak going with it too. That ain't bad right there.
It would be hard, I think, for Austin Slater not to look at his mom and dad. So here's Ty Block. RBI opportunity for Block. He's walked 3 times. And he takes down low. Right now, he has the best eye in all of baseball.
I mean, he is passing the eye test. Right now, he's just a pair of shoes up there. It's unbelievable.
1 ball and no strikes. And that evens the count.
I think that's the first sinker he's seen in a long time.
I think you're right.
He ran out of bat on that one.
Ray Sadecki is the last Giants pitcher to walk 3 times in a game. And he did it in 1969. Well, he does have a chance to walk 4 times in a game.
As long as it gets another run across the board and keeps helping him out get a W, he'll do whatever it takes.
Absolutely. 2-2.
He got the rare breaking ball right there. He's been sitting on that 2-seamer for most of this inning, and he threw a 2-1 breaking ball to a pitcher.
Well, he threw it again. It's 3-2.
I don't think he's going to throw it this time.
I wonder if they think he's somebody else.
You know, I'm telling you, they saw what he did against Kershaw, and that must have done it. Like, you're doing against the best in the league. We got to watch him. But he's setting himself up for another ball four.
Here's a 3-2 pitch coming up with Slater at first. See if he goes. And a foul down the right field line. Here's the base hit by Austin Slater.
It's a great job by Slater. He wants to go right back up the middle. The runners are going. You know, it's a contact kind of play. Go right by Galvis. Galvis had no chance. Look at Thomas, Amy, and Sarah. Nothing better than doing it in front of your family like that. He's excited.
For him. Oh, got him.
Block didn't like it. Great frame job there by Rupp. Three-two heater. Cuts it. Man, that's a great job. Bottom of the zone, but that's a great job of sticking it right there. That ball's dropping, and he's able to hold on to it. And Block doesn't like it because he was going to stare at history. But he'll have another chance, hopefully.
You're right. Anytime you do something like that, it's going to go into the press guide, and that is important. So here's Span, who's 3 for 4. And he takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
Not that Slater would be running, but it's not like he's getting a very good read off of Rodriguez. He seems to be taking a step back to first almost every single time.
And it's 2-0. Yeah, you're right. If he's not taking a step back, he's leaning a little bit. I guess the rule of the thumb is after you get your first big league hit, don't get picked off.
I think that's in a rule book somewhere.
Kind of dulls the moment. And a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's a nice 2-0 reach back heater, 96. I mean, he's got all these hitters off guard a little bit.
Every team has guys like this that come out and just throw hard. Come back with another one. The next pitch for Rodriguez in this inning will be 30.
And this is the part of the transition process when you're an organization trying to get back to greatness. You need to have these lumps.
On the ground and a base hit. His Span goes the other way. Panic is going to score, and it's 7-0. It's basically just how you take advantage of how the defense was playing you.
That's exactly what he did, and you know what? It was playing to the field, like you said, and playing to his swing. And there's the pitch. Knows he's getting a fastball, just trying to put barrel on it. Does exactly that. Nice 2-hopper, gets through the infield. I mean, it's textbook right there, and have a night, Denard Span.
He'll take it, this 4th hit. Nunez has been on base 3 times. Now you got Slater at second, Span at first. 2 runs are in, and Nunez takes a strike.
Got the bullpen going yet again. I think it's a little bit earlier than what they really wanted to do.
Luis Garcia. And the 0-1. High and foul down the right field line and out of play.
Nooney knows he just missed that one right there. He's sitting on that one pitch. He got the fastball, just had just enough sink and run on it that he wasn't able to square it up.
Uh-oh. That's a big fella right there.
That's a lot of beef, no doubt about it.
That is a lot of beef. 0-2. In the dirt, blocked by Rupp. 1 ball and 2 strikes. How many games have you done where you've watched them from the stands? I mean, did you ever go on the DL and watch an inning or two from the stands?
No. Back when I used to be a starter in the minor leagues was the only time I had to watch a game from the stands.
So the view you're getting now is like virgin territory. There's a line drive, and that's going to be in the gap. And it helps when Span is the back runner. Is Slater scores. Span's going to score. Nunez with a double. And now the Giants have broken it wide open. And listen to these happy fans here in Philadelphia.
And that's what you want to see right there, especially if you're a Giants fan. I mean, they haven't put up crooked numbers like this in a long, long time. And you know what, to be fair, they're obviously the Boo Birds are out and they're not happy with Rodriguez's outing there, but that was a 1-2 pitch.
We're going to take a break. We're going to get a new pitcher. It's 9-0 Giants. Papa, Ray Ratto, Kelly Johnson bring you the happy hour on NBC Sports Bay Area and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Also available to listen live on a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. The happy hour, and that would refer to Kelly Johnson and Greg Papa. Ray Ratto, not so much. Luis Garcia, he looks like he throws hard.
6'3", 220 it looks like. And from what I've seen of him, he's 95, 97.
Again, another one of those guys. Belt was laying in the weeds on that first pitch, and he fouled it out of play.
And there's 97 right on cue. Thank you for not letting me down, Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, it'd have been great if he humped up and threw 88.
Nothing wrong with 88.
Yep, you're right. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Belt. Well, that's one of those where it sure sounded like a strike, and it was. It's 0-2.
He's going for it there. 99 on the clock. Sounded loud. Sounded hard.
It sounded very hard. In the dirt. 1-2. It's a nice play by Rupp.
And that's the slider that's his the finisher for him right there. That's a heck of a play. Look at this. He's trying to bury it. He knows what he's trying to do, but look at Rupp. Oof. I mean, that's why they get beat up a lot, those catchers. But man, they can be your best friend right there.
Yes, they can. 1-2 to Belt. Well, he impressed everybody with 2 fastballs, and once he got ahead in the count, he came back with a couple of his secondary pitches. So now 2-2, and if you're Belt, He's got to be throwing a fastball here.
Yeah, you would think. He slowed him down twice to speed him back up. I mean, went 97 and 99 on those heaters, so we'll see what's coming.
And that'll end the inning at 99. Austin Slater, he's got a batting average. His first major league hit, his first major league RBI, and it's in front of Mom, Dad, and Sarah. Very nicely done. 9-0 Giants. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, Ty Blach going after the top of the order, and Cesar Hernandez, and the pitch, and a called strike. I always talk about how important it is to have a shutdown inning. Maybe not so much now when it's 9-0, but Blach has had a shutdown inning. How many times now? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And Hernandez takes it down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, as a former bullpen guy, this is exactly what you love to see. Your starter going deep into a ball game. Pitch count under control.
2-2.
I mean, that's his 65th pitch thrown. And we're into the 6th. I mean, that's, you can't draw it up any better than that.
And a base hit to right. So he's given up some hits, but he's had the benefit of being able to throw a couple of double play balls. So here's Aaron Altair, who hit into a double play his last time up. Altair takes low and in, 1 ball and no strikes.
Altair's put together 2 consistent months. I mean, he's been playing really well for them. He had 6 homers in May, but the average has been about the same all year long.
That time Blach cast it wide. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
But I know I love double plays, and this is yet another great time to get one.
Finished out the 5th with a double play. And this is going to be hit out to Slater in right. And he makes his first big league catch. Let's check out our Togo's big play the Togo's way. Talk about double plays. This was Altair's double play in the 3rd. And then in the 5th, Nava, 5-4-3. That's our Togo's big play.
It's tough to get hits when those gloves are gold out there.
Indeed. Here's Kendrick, who was bounced out and then lined to single to left field. Hernandez at first, and the pitch is wide. .71 pitches now for Ty Block. And that's fouled off of Buster Posey. It's 1-2. Beautiful night is where we sit behind home plate. You're going to look right at the skyline of downtown Philadelphia. And it's a skyline that has really changed over the years. And tight to Kendrick. 2-2.
They've really done a great job with the whole sports complex here. You know, Lincoln Financial across the street. You got the Spectrum and all that. I mean, everything's been great.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jeremy would disagree.
Well, he might not have a leg or two to stand on when it comes to that. When you think that football, basketball, baseball, they all share the same parking lot. It's not like you need to drive to another part of town. Got him.
Oh, great pitch. There he is with the glove side fastball command. Gets him again.
The location.
I mean, look at that. Buster sets up off the plate. That pitch is exactly where Buster wanted it. In, off, on the white of the batter's box, and he puts it right there. And, you know, it's one of those where you commit to swinging, and it just chases you inside. You can't do anything about it.
Here's Tommy Joseph. It almost looks like if Kendrick would have hit that, he would hit a foul ball off his leg.
And that's exactly what probably would have happened. And that's what makes Block so good, is when he's got that glove side command that he can just sit on that changeup that you get right there.
Cued. And it's going to be a tough play, but maybe not. Block and Belt make it look easy.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers, insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. By Jack in the Box, come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by AAA. Get a free Giants welcome mat. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for detail.
Buster swinging at that first fastball, fouls it off. It's no balls and 1 strike. And he lines this one right at the shortstop. Galvis, 1 out. And that'll bring to the plate Crawford. Crawford tonight, he's his sacrifice fly, and then another sacrifice fly. Then he rolled out in front of the mound, and then he walked. So in 4 at-bats, he's 0 for 1. One ball and no strikes.
That glove is popping. That was 98 right there.
It is. Ruff's doing a good job of helping it pop. Sharp ground ball and a base hit. Past the diving Hernandez. So Crawford sneaks one past Hernandez, and that'll bring up Panic. Well, you got to like a guy who throws that hard and throws strikes, and so far it looks like Garcia is very capable of doing that.
Yeah, he has. He's had a great year so far, and you know, you look for small victories when you're rebuilding, and this is one of them right now for the Phillies for sure.
Panic is 1 for 4. Fouls it out of play. Just announced the attendance, 22,491. And I will say from the beginning of the game, it has filled in a little bit more.
I would agree. A lot of Giants fans around here.
Outside to Panic. We're in the 7th. Here's the 1-1 to Panic. Crawford with his lead. Rupp playing behind him. And there's a line drive. Actually, Joseph playing behind him. So 2 hard hit balls this inning, Panic and Posey. Actually, 4 hard hit balls. Crawford's got through. So here's Calixte, who's 1 for 2.
That's just to hang with him right there. Another Adam ball.
That is. That is.
That's the one where every hitter doesn't like it when you go back into the dugout and they get slapped. Nice swing.
Yeah, hang with him. Swing. And a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, there's 4 or 5 different things that people on the bench say to hitters. You'll get them next time. Stop. Don't want to hear it. How could they play you there? Stop. I don't want to hear it. Nothing in 2. They all even out. Stop.
I can imagine it would be a grind to hear that.
And on 3 pitches, Garcia strikes out Calixte to end the inning. Bottom of the 7th coming up. here's block. And on the first pitch, a one-hopper as Crawford backs up and throws. And on one pitch, Michael Franco is retired. And as Mike Krukow likes to say, that's a gift. One pitch, one out. And here's Michael Saunders. Saunders is 0 for 2. Kershaw and Nelson in Milwaukee, they got a good one going. It's 0-0 in the 5th.
Nelson's been throwing the ball great for the Brewers. And Anderson.
And play a team 4 times, it's likely you're going to miss either one of those guys. $19 out of 24 first pitch strikes.
That's what I got in my book, so thankfully I'm keeping the right
There
count.
you go. One pitch.
There it is, the breaking ball, just a show. The way he's going, I wouldn't be surprised if he doubles down right here or sets up the fastball in with it.
Yep, he did. What do you think, breaking ball? About 20% of the time?
I mean, maybe, yeah. He really is a fastball changeup guy. Yeah, you never want to throw into late in the game. You want guys to beat you away. But he does have him set up for something in if he wanted to go there.
So games like this is like a vacation for Buster Posey. Well, they got 9% usage this year on the curveball, so you're right.
I thought you were talking about all the off speeds in general. It was just 20.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right.
Thanks. And this little pop-up is going to be out of play over by the.
That almost bounced back to Sarah.
By the Slaters, absolutely.
Yeah. Just a couple rows off.
Two pitch. Hit out to Calixte, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. And here's Rupp. Cameron Rupp's had a couple of good at-bats.
He has. He stayed up the middle with it.
Yeah, both base hits have gone up the middle.
You see Panic slide over now. He's playing pretty much right behind second base. Outfield's pretty much straight away.
Block has allowed 6 hits. And they've all been singles. In the second inning, he allowed 2 hits in 1 inning. And that's the only time. 2 balls and no strikes. Freddie Galvis is on deck. Game 1 of this 3-game series. There's a strike to make it 2-1.
It's a good pitch right there by Block. You get those 2 quick outs like that, and you got to just tell yourself, finish the drill. Last thing you want to do is what the Phillies have been doing tonight. Is next thing you know, 2 outs, a guy gets on, and you got a big inning coming.
So you throw a 2-0 fastball, and if the guy gets a base hit, he gets a base hit.
Exactly, and you know, again, you spotted 9 runs, which every pitcher will take twice on Sunday. You know, but it's one of those things where you just want to get your team back to banging because they're feeling good right now.
Hit out to Slater in right. And that'll end the inning. For the Giants, it'll be Austin Slater to lead things off. Game summary, and it's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Well, it's a 9-0 lead for the Giants. Ty Blach has been terrific. 7 shutout innings. Denard Span and Nunez. We said on our keys to the game, set the table, they're 7 for 9. Eichhoff had a rough night, and Rupp is 2 for 3. And here's Slater. And a swing and a foul.
Rupp getting hit again right there.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just not your night.
Slater checking with him, make sure he's all right. Hit right off his shoulder.
And the 0-1. Swing and a miss. So for Christian Slater, he's hitting .333
with a stake and a run scored.
Yep.
Pretty good night.
And on 3 pitches, first major league hit, first major league RBI came in the 6th inning.
There it was right there. The little, I'm not sure if it was a hit and run or what it was, but you know what? He did exactly what you need to do. Both runners were going. He hit it right on the ground and got that. And there's his parents checking out their text messages and whatnot, sending them out.
Here's Ty Blach, 3 walks and a strikeout.
No catch.
Takes a called strike. If Blach were, let's say, 10 years older than what he is right now, he might just not swing the bat here. But as young as he is now, he's going to let it fly. That's a pretty good swing of a guy throwing hard.
I mean, the worst he's looking at is an 0 for 2 night.
That's exactly right.
That's not that bad.
Scored twice.
House money at this point. And that's a pretty good breaking ball.
That's 4 strikeouts now for Garcia. And here's Span.
(0-2). Blach wanted no part of that right there. I mean, that's a middle breaking ball, but his first step was towards the dugout.
Just tip your cap to him.
Yeah. You don't need to throw a back out on something like that.
Span's got 4 hits. And he takes maybe high, maybe inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. We're in the Giants' half of the 8th inning. Garcia's been the best of any of the Phillies pitchers tonight.
Oh,
Span bounces this one off his foot. And he's throwing the ball now where you might see some teams ask the Philadelphia Phillies if they're interested in trading him.
Look at this foul ball. Lower shin, ankle area. Especially coming off a guy throwing 97, that can't feel that great.
Wow.
I mean, they got some pieces. They definitely do. You got Benoit down there. You got Nishak. You got this guy. You know, you got Howie Kendrick. Really, you have some pieces that you, if you really wanted to do something. But
and so many teams would love to have some bullpen help. And Span has got his 5th hit, and this is going to be a possible triple, but he's going to stop at second base, and that may be due to banging one off his foot. And he is now 5 for 6.
I mean, this guy's been challenging all night. He goes for it there. 97 reach back heater. And Denard's really just getting the foot down tonight. He's not doing anything. No kind of leg kick, no nothing. Just being able to go shopping at the gap. He's really squared up every one of those base hits, too. There haven't been any cheapies.
So here's Nunez, who has 3 hits. He's also hit a line drive to left.
And Nooney's looking for 1 pitch and 1 pitch only.
And he fouls it back. You saw Nunez before the game, and I can always tell if you just kind of like a guy or if you really like a guy. And I got the impression that you like this guy a lot.
I just love the fact that he plays hard. You know, that's the one thing I love. He swings hard. He runs hard.
Look like he's a guy that laughs easy.
He does. And he's got a great laugh, too. It's infectious. It's very high-pitched and kind of silly. You wouldn't expect a grown man to laugh like that. But it's just what you need to listen to sometimes.
0-1 to Nunez. And he skies this one to right. It's in the park to Saunders, and that's going to end the inning. Span with his 5th hit. Provident Credit Union. You can vote at NBCSportsBayArea.com/AST. It is the 11th season, and the winner receives $20,000 for his or her school. Visit NBCSportsBayArea.com and vote. Here's Ty Block, and he's facing Freddie Galvis. And there's a bouncing ball to the new third baseman, Christian Arroyo. And on the second pitch of the inning, 1 out. So Ty Kelly is going to hit. So Arroyo at third, and now Gorky Hernandez is in center field. And that'll get Nunez and Span off their feet. Both those gentlemen at the top of the order. As Kelly takes a strike. And a combined, Span and Nunez have been on base 9 times tonight.
9 times.
So when we do the keys to the game tomorrow, we're not going to switch things up.
Nope.
It's going to be set the table.
That's it. 9 times.
Block with 95 pitches. Kelly waiting on Block. Hit to left. 2 outs.
MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to AppBat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
We use it all the time. As a matter of fact, we have the Dodgers and the Brewers game on. Where it
right
is.
Now.
Make sure that I get this right. It's 0-0. Here's a pitch down low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cesar Hernandez, who's 2 for 3. Crawford will cut it off, and that'll end the inning. So nice inning for Ty Blach. 9th inning coming up. Sports app, and if you want to check out Alex Pavlovich, go to NBCSportsBayArea.com. Ty Blach watching as Brandon Belt is going to hit. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. Ramos.
Yes. I got caught watching the paint right there. Yet again, another guy that's been throwing the ball well for them. He's been throwing up a lot of punch-outs. And
Ed Ubry, Ramos. You know, you always look for a little help from your partner when you don't quite get the names right.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're right.
And
I got caught watching a beautiful baseball game by the Giants. Hey, this guy throws mid-90s fastballs. There's one right there. 94. You're welcome.
It's
right on cue.
2 balls and 1 strike. Ramos.
He's been punching out a lot of tickets. He's got 27 and 22 innings. That's an average of over 10 per 9. It's quick math right there.
Well, and you mentioned Benoit. You mentioned, what is it? Nishak. Well, those are 2 of their mainstays, correct? These other guys just throw hard.
You're right.
And there are a lot of people that like to have those guys in their bullpen. Maybe throw a few more strikes. That would be nice. But, I mean, Garcia was fabulous.
I've never heard a guy complain, or a manager complain about getting an arm in July at the trade deadline.
And Belt's going to come up with a base hit off a 94.
That's how you hit through the shift.
Great news, Giants fans. Stream the Giants on the go this season. You can stream every NBC Sports Bay Area Giants broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. Giants game streamed on the go on the NBC Sports app. Here's Buster Posey. Buster's 0 for 4. Hit a line drive to the shortstop in the 7th. This is one of those games where you catch your starting pitcher, you catch him So far, he's got a shutout, and you just like to be rewarded by picking up a base hit.
No question. Yet another guy that's starting to get loose. That was 95.
I know. Buster hitting now at 340. Swing and maybe a miss, maybe a foul. It's 1-2. Buster will catch Johnny Cueto tomorrow. I'm not sure he could have any more fun as far as catching someone like he's had tonight with Ty Block.
He has been pounding the strike zone.
Which is swing foul.
That's something we said at the beginning of the game. You know, set up the changeup, keep it in your back pocket, and use it when you need to, but get those ground balls, and he's really done that tonight.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Down low, 2-2.
By my count, he's got 4 innings worth of ground balls. I could be off by a couple ground balls, but it's pretty close.
That's exactly what he would like to do when you've got Gold Glovers behind you. 3-2 to Buster Posey.
It's a great job by Buster right there. This guy's been throwing a lot of off speed on him. He took a chance on a few. Now he's been able to recognize it out of the hand. Wasn't lunging at all right there, staying on that back leg. See what he gets here. Looks like another breaker.
And Buster Posey's going to come up with a hit.
And that's just the discipline of a former batting champion, face of baseball, MVP, comeback player of the year, you name it. I mean, that's just pro hitting and a pro approach.
So here's the hit you're talking about.
Yeah, he was getting a steady diet of breaking balls and not trying to do too much. Takes it right back up the middle. Look at him drive off that back knee, keeps that back elbow in, and just basically aiming right back up the middle right at the pitcher.
Well, at least offensively for Buster Posey, that saves the night. Your average isn't going to do too much one way or the other if you go 1 for 5. Here's Crawford. Crawford's 1 for 2. And he takes a healthy rip and he fouls it down the left field line and out of play.
And I think that was the last hit for now. Everybody in the lineup has now put a hit up on the board. 14 hits. Nice night, Giants.
9 runs, 14 hits, and no errors. Phillies no runs, 6 hits, and 2 errors. Belt and Posey at first here in the 9th. Crawford wraps it on the ground to Joseph, and he's going to just spin around and go to the bag. Both runners advance. And Joe Panik's got a shot to pick up an RBI or 2.
Crawford definitely want to do a little more damage with that swing, but honestly it worked out pretty well. You know, you're moving guys in a scoring position. You got, like Flan always like to say, the game is won and lost by getting to third base with less than 2 outs.
You been in the studio with Flan?
Oh yeah. In the pan with Flan.
So is that entertaining?
It's liveliness all the time.
Panik with a swing and a foul. It's no balls and 1 strike.
That may or may not have gotten Rupp again. I'm not sure if that was just a no catch or a...
Yeah, it looked like one of those where it doesn't quite hit the glove the way you want it to, and you get a stinger. Hit to left, maybe not deep enough for Belt, or it might just fall.
Oh, great.
And now Belt is going to score. So Panik picks up a base hit and an RBI, and it's 10-0.
Wow, that's a great read. Look at that. Ball beats him inside. He fights it off to left field. Howie Kendrick's coming in. Not really sure what he's going to do. Lets it drop. Tries to throw Belt out, but Belt scooting down the line. with Franco nowhere in sight, so he just kept scooting away from the base and ends up scoring.
Maybe a guy that plays the outfield all the time, comes in and makes that catch. Here's Calixte. And he takes the pitch down low.
And it's yet another leadoff batter for the Giants that ends up coming around and scoring.
Yeah, they've done a good job of getting that leadoff hitter on. Calixte had a base hit in the 4th inning. And he swings and misses, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hunter Pence, we haven't heard word what Hunter Pence did tonight. And it may be that if all works out well health-wise, that the Giants could see him in a couple of days, which would be great. Need his energy on the field and off the field.
Definitely need that. Definitely need that leadership in the position players in the outfield in particular.
We've talked about this before, but when you're on the disabled list, you just don't quite have the voice that you have if you're active, if you're playing all the time. And you really don't feel like if you say anything, you just feel like somebody's going to say, well, wait a minute, you're not playing. So a lot of times you just keep your mouth shut. So they need him to be playing. There's a pitch a bit high. So it's 3-2.
Yeah, you're right. And then Panic's one of those guys that likes to talk and likes to be loud. And when you're on the DL, you definitely, like you say, you just kind of internalize everything.
You do. And Calixte fouls this one straight back. And it remains 3-2. Posey at second. Panic at first. A run in. The Giants have been retired 1, 2, 3 only once in this game, and that was in the 5th. And the walk. So another walk. And that'll load the bases. Yeah, they're telling us in the truck. That's true. The game that Hunter Pence is going to play in tonight in San Jose, that game is not going to start for another 5 or 10 minutes. Glad that folks in the truck are aware of those things, that there is a time difference between California and Philadelphia. Slater's going to get a chance to hit again with the bases loaded, and he swings and misses, and it's 0-1. No one in recent times has had greater opportunities to do damage in their first major league game than Austin Slater. Oh, 2.
The Phillies are giving him every opportunity to have a night.
Yes, they are. And look, he picked up a hit and an RBI in the 6th inning. He walked with runners on, or a runner on, in the 4th. He bounced out with the bases loaded in the 1st. And he's still got a strike here in the 9th. With Posey, Panic, and Calixte. Breaking ball. Hit foul. I hope that didn't hit an iPad. It sent something flying. As you see the Slater family.
There they are. They're hungry for more. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
One's great, two's better.
0-2. Out of play. 98 from Ramos. One after another. So it's 0-2 with 1 out. Oh, they rang him up. I don't know about that one.
I think Phil's ready.
So here's Ty Block. All right, let's see.
Throws the breaking ball here. Hey, I mean, it's a strike. What do you got to say? It just looked bad.
The fact that Rupp had to move from out to in. Block takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Block's got 2 RBIs on the year. He's walked 3 times and he's struck out twice. How many times do you see a pitcher hit for the 6th time? And a called strike. If you're hitting for the 6th time, you're having a good night. Oof is right.
There's a lot of traffic out there for the Giants tonight. You got to be encouraged seeing that. I know we're in Philadelphia, but in particular coming after an off day, traveling cross country to go out and jump on a team like this.
So Block strikes out. His line's going to be interesting. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He didn't care about that. He's got a shutout.
Baseball for Esurance Giants postgame live. Highlights, reaction, and analysis, and it's all coming up for a full hour right after the game.
It's a 10-0 lead for the Giants. Bruce Bochy has never felt so good, especially this year, where he doesn't have to be on the edge of his seat in a close one. It'll be Aaron Altair to lead things off. Altair has bounced out twice and he's hit a fly ball to right. Ty Block throws pitch number 100 and it's down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Altair, Kendrick, and Tommy Joseph. There's Tomlinson. He replaces Crawford. And the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to right, and this should curl into the seats, and it does. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's really awesome to see Block go out there and get a chance to throw the 9th. These opportunities don't come around very often, especially now in the game of baseball. But you know, you got to give the guy credit. He's been attacking the zone all night, and Buster and him have been on the same page.
On the ground to Arroyo, and a nice in-between play. He might actually get a Buster hug.
I think he's definitely deserving of a Buster hug. Let's not underestimate that play right there. Look at this ground ball to Hopper, in between Hop, and Arroyo played that like he knew what he was doing. I mean, that's an impressive play for a guy that's been playing a lot of shortstop, just to be able to go to the hot corner and make that look that smooth.
Kendrick takes a strike. He's 1 for 3.
And yet another ground ball out for Block.
Up the middle. Tomlinson. Oh, close. But the ball squirts away from Block. And a nice effort. And a hit. And that'll bring up Tommy Joseph. Giants do have a right-hander.
Brian Morris, it looks like.
Indeed it is. See, I've got binoculars on. I'm trying to figure it out. You have no glasses, no binoculars. Here's Tommy Joseph. Swing and a miss. So you said 40's coming up?
Yes.
For you? So you do know that 40 is the new 50. You know that, right?
Apparently. I'm getting a lot of that.
Here's the pitch high to Tommy Joseph. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm trying to age gracefully, but I appreciate that.
No, that's all right.
Panic again, playing right behind second.
And Block throws it by Tommy Joseph. 1 and 2. As you get older, your kids will remind you that you're getting older. They don't even know they're doing it. And there's a line drive to left, and Caliste is going to make the catch. And by the way, they don't do that to Mom.
You better not.
They're not allowed.
I don't think you can. Don't expect to get a home cooked meal if that happens.
Yeah. So here's Maikel Franco with 2 outs.
I mean, Daddy's a short order chef, put it that way. I can follow a recipe, but Mom makes it from scratch.
Yeah, I can do 6 things, so
yeah,
they better like him. There's a strike to Franco. He's singled in the second. Since then, he's popped out and bounced out. 10-0 Giants.
Oh, great.
0-2.
Great changeup right there. Great changeup.
He's really been in a good rhythm the entire game.
He really has. When you've thrown 110 pitches and you've thrown 76 strikes, you're doing work.
Down low. So pitch-wise, he's at 111.
And it's really been stress-free for the most part. Big inning was a second.
On the ground, Arroyo is going to knock it down, go the long way, and that's the ball game. And we'll see if we're going to get a Buster hug. Yes! the blanket. They need another one.
Another rookie to throw a shutout right there.
So Ty Block goes 9. He throws a shutout. The Giants pound out 15 hits. They score 10 runs, and they open up this trip with a really nice win. And yes, the Phillies are struggling, but right now the Giants need wins, and it really doesn't matter who it's against. And tonight they do it against the Phillies, who have now lost 5 straight, and they're 1-7 against teams in the National League West. So Block, who threw 112 pitches, gets the win, and the Giants win 10-0. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live. That is going to start right now.